Hi, Doug Grady here, author of The Ripple Effect, One Simple Choice Can Change the Course of Your Life. And if you've ever been to one of my speaking engagements or you've read The Ripple Effect, you know that a major turning point in my life came with a choice roughly 9 years ago. I was stuck in every significant area of my life, physically and perhaps the worst shape of my life. I was mentally and emotionally, as they say in the South, scattered, smothered, and covered. My company was upside down. I had a bad attitude. I was just a mess. And the turning point came in what I would call a moment of clarity. Have you ever had one of these? And these moments of clarity, it's up to us to not just listen, but to pay attention. And it was a 1-2 punch. Punch number one, when something like this, it was, man, you have been given much. And I just started taking inventory, a mental inventory at the time of what could I consider to be gifts in my life if I really wanted to. What could I consider areas that I could be grateful for? I looked at the roof over my shoulders. It was still there. I wasn't sure for how long. I was 3 months behind on my rent at the time, but I was still there. I still had food in the fridge. I still had a car that I was considering pawning, but I still had the car. I ate every day. I still had friends. I still had family who loved me, most of them. No, I'm kidding. I think all of them still loved me at the time. I still had gifts. I thought about the resources that I developed through the years, networks I developed, skills that I'd been taught by people, books that I'd read through the course of that last 5 or 6 years leading up to that point that I had learned from. I had been given much. By contrast, I'd been to my first mission trip to Guayaquil, Ecuador, and we, along with 12 men, we built these, what you and I would call shacks. They're not much. This is one of the nails that was literally used. This type of nail was used to fix this. This is a nail from Ecuador that was used to build these structures, and this little structure became home for a family that previously would be living in something much less than this. On their best day, they had been given far less than what most of us have seen on our worst day. And many of these people had much better attitudes than I was exhibiting at the time. You have been given much. And so wherever you are right now, if you're at a pivot point, you're stuck, you're looking at what's next in your life, you're just reflecting on how the year has been, whatever season this is for you in your life, start with this. What are the gifts in your life? What could you be grateful for if you really wanted to? And be specific. Get out your journal and just take inventory and dig deep. Look at what you take for granted. Who are the people in your life that you can be grateful for? Even those that aren't necessarily the nicest or the most easy to be around. There's still something we could look at to be grateful for these people. What are the lessons that you've learned, the experiences that you've had, the people that you know, the resources, the possessions? What are all of the gifts that you have been given? What could you think of as you expand this definition of gift? Even the country that most of us were born in is a gift. The people born in other countries, they didn't ask for that. This is what they've been given. By contrast, the people I met in Ecuador had very little chance of ever leaving this severe poverty, some of them in fear even for their lives and wondering even what they would eat the next day. We have been given much. Articulate it, write about it, think about it, list it, experience it mentally in your mind. You have been given much. By contrast, punch number 2 was, Doug, you are giving very little. Now, I'd like this to be a gut check for you. Are you giving what you have been given? I was in church just a few days ago with my wife, and the pastor was talking about the relationship between generosity and gratitude. When we are generous, we actually experience gratitude. And when we're grateful, I believe it's our duty really to live generosity, to give what we've been given. So I made up this little word, generositude. Can you experience generositude today, the state of giving what you have been given? What are you giving? How are you showing up for the people that you lead, that you love, that you serve, for your people at work, for the people at home, for your family, for your legacy, for your kids, for your grandkids, for the person that you know you were made to be, the person to live your potential. What are you giving that you have been given? Have you been given time, resources, experiences, lessons, valuables, possessions that you could give away to contribute to the world, that you can make the world a better place, that you can make a difference for someone who really needs it? Generositude means you give what you have been given. You give what you have been given, this experience of generositude. My life changed in a moment when I said, I'm not sure how it's going to work, but I'm going to give my all. For 6 months, I may lose the house. It wasn't even a house, it was an apartment. I may lose the car. I may lose the business. I may be homeless, but it will be not for lack of giving. So I want to challenge you today. Can you give more of yourself? Can you give it to someone who needs it? Can you give it to someone you love? Can you give what you have been given? And I believe the more we give, the more we get. When we experience this generositude, we just continue to receive. The more you give, the more you receive. Some of us need to be better givers today and allow ourselves to receive. Choose simply, choose powerfully, choose now. Choose generositude, generosity, and gratitude. Choose generositude, and God bless you.